What's up, CycleStorm fans? It's Bryant Cook, and today we are playing a different person's Cycling Storm list. This is CosmicCharles's list, who's had a few 5-0s recently with it. It's reminiscent of the very early builds of this deck. Back when CycleStorm first came to power during Ikoria, a lot of people were playing this card. Whoops, can't zoom. Come on. Maybe Moto update ruined it. It's not zooming anymore. Okay, well, I'm talking about Land Grant. Land Grant was a card that was in a lot of early builds, and then by the time that I started playing this format, people were onto the Invasion Sack lands. The Land Grant builds were no longer in favor. I've tried the Land Grant builds a few times. I want to say like 2 leagues, maybe 3, but they've never really been for me. That said, CosmicCharles's has been doing very well recently, so I wanted to give this a fair shake. A lot of people ask in these videos, like, well, which list do you think is better? And I don't think that's really fair if I don't have the experience playing both versions. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to play this, figure out what I like about it, what I dislike about it. Before we even play this league, I do have a few thoughts. So this list is not playing Dark Ritual. Instead, it's playing for Tinder Wall. Yeah, it's not zooming anymore. I don't know what happened. I'm so sad right now. Okay, so for Tinder Wall, and it basically adds to your creature count for Songs of the Damned, which is pretty sweet because, you know, it essentially makes up for that 3rd mana on its own, and you get the color fix a little bit with red mana. It's sort of sweet, right? Like, it's not bad. But on its own, it is a little bit worse than Dark Ritual. You do get to store the mana, but it's 1 less storm count on your combo turn for Reaping the Graves. In order to add that storm count back, we are playing Land Grant to help fix that. So you do get that as an added bonus. There's obviously Manamorphose as well, which increases storm on the combo turn, because this list is not playing Blood Celebrant. I know, it's wild not playing Blood Celebrant, but you do get a little bit of fixing between Tinder Wall, Manamorphose, and then this extra Chromatic Star over here. We're only playing 1 Repository Scob, 1 Mystical Teachings today, and this is my favorite part of this list, the Deadshot Minotaur. You may know that I like playing the card Exhume in this deck, and I've always thought to myself, if I played the green version, I would totally be playing Deadshot Minotaur plus Exhume to just kick the crap out of the Fairies matchup. CosmicCharles's is not playing the Exhume package, so a little bit bummed about the Deadshot Minotaurs not being quite as effective, because I'd love to shoot down some Fairies from the sky, but we're just going to try to do our thing today. Perhaps my favorite thing about this list is that it has 2 copies of Gilded Light in the sideboard. This card is from Scourge. I played it a lot growing up because this was when I first started really playing Magic. I started in Invasion, and then a year and a half later, Scourge or so came out, which was really awesome for me. So I loved Scourge, obviously, you know, the Tendrils of Agony card, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, I've always wanted to play Gilded Light in my list, but I don't play white. Like, if we were ever to get Flourishing Fox and Gilded Light would become staples in this deck, because then you'd have a real reason to play white. Well, right now, our white cards are just Drannith Healer and Gilded Light, and it's really hard to play basic planes in your deck or anything else when you have Gilded Light. Speaking of basic planes, we are not playing Ash Barrens. You may notice this mana base is just 4 Barrenmoor, 3 forests, and a single woodland chasm for the Land Grant. So we're not playing any mountains in the sideboard because there's no Ash Barrens to get them with. We are a Land Grant deck. You could be playing the red-green Snow Duel in the sideboard for these Pyroblasts, but CosmicCharles decided that isn't necessary, and I feel like I probably agree. You have other ways of casting Pyroblast. One of the nice features of this list is that you are green based, which means the Center's Deliverance is an easy card to play to answer Graveyard Hate, and you're already in the color for Gnaw to the Bone. So these are both nice features of this list. Do I think this list is better? I have no clue. I haven't played it before. Maybe I'll have some sort of opinion afterwards, but for today, we're just going to have some fun, cast some Land Grants, see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the play. Let's cycle it up. Okay, so here we have Tinder Wall, but obviously it's a little bit awkward with these Baron Wars. I do think that this is ultimately a keep. We have the Lotus Petal if we need it to play Tinder Wall, but we don't really want to have to make that play. What this hand would like to do is find the Reaping the Graves, that's for sure. Okay, so Baron Moor pass. Swamp. Okay. Draw. So we're going to cycle the Imposing Vantasaur here. I'm assuming that we're not going to hit a land, and we don't, and then we play the other Baron Moor. Pass the turn. So right now we're a little bit clogged on not having enough cyclers. We will need to find a couple. So we take 1 here, going to 19. Piranha Marsh. So this is likely Black Burn. I mean, we could have assumed that from the Scorpion, but you never know. Okay. So we drew another cycler. Let's cycle this Vantasaur. We have to pass the turn. Trying to save this Manamorphose. It is a cantrip eventually, but we don't want to have to use it. Alright, going to 15 off the Scorpion. Bumping the Knight, we're at 12. Okay, we're at 10. Carnarium, picking up the Piranha Marsh. Scob. Let's cycle this Stinger. I think we just play the Petal and pass for now. We're not likely to die from 10. We do need to find a Reaping the Graves, though. Alright, 9 life. Opponent has 4 cards in hand, one of which is a Piranha Marsh. There it is. We're at 8 now? Yep, 8. Alright, can you deal me 8 damage or life off 3 mana? There's another Scorpion. And they're passing. 2 cards in hand. Draw. I think we're probably going to have to try to go for it this turn. So, whoops. Let's sacrifice this for a green. Play Tinder Wall. Sacrifice the Tinder Wall. Okay, so that's 6 cards in the graveyard. We need to get the threshold for this Cabal Ritual. So I think the easiest way of doing that is to just cycle. I'm probably going to have to use one of these red mana. There it is, we hit. How lucky. Okay. Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Alright, so we're going to cast Manamorphose here. We're definitely adding blue. And then I think the other color that we add is green for the Tinder Wall. Okay. So let's add green. Blue. Okay, another Cabal Ritual. I think these songs here. Repository Scob. Exploit it. We'll pick up the songs again. Cast songs from 10. It's from 11. The Reaping the Graves. We don't quite need 11 Storm. We don't even have that many creatures in our graveyard. Okay, that's everything. Now let's return everything. Okay, so let's play the Tinder Wall. And I think that we should just start playing the Stingers and cycling. To me, this build doesn't quite have the powerful endgame that the other build has. It just seems like your mana isn't as free. Because, like, with Blood Celebrant, you're allowed to wait till the last second. You don't have that luxury here. Like, we can't even cycle this Deadshot Minotaur. That's the one downside of this list, in my opinion, is that, like, you do have to think a lot more about how you float mana, just because you have cyclers that don't cycle off everything. Okay. Another Reaping is not bad. Cycle. That's obviously a little bit awkward. So how many creatures do we even have in our graveyard? Let's check the songs. Okay, so that zoomed correctly. All right, I'm zooming correctly now. I wonder if something was just up with moto loading. I don't know. Yeah, I'm zooming fine now. So this would add 6, 7 with the Repository Scob. Okay, let's get back to Songs of the Damned. Getting back songs. Cast songs. Reaping the Graves. Yeah. Return everything home. Need to pay attention to our life a little bit. Like, the black burn deck usually doesn't have instant speed damage, but you don't need to go too low for the Street Wraith. Can't cycle that. Cycle here. At this point, it's just clicking the cards and ending the game. Okay. Gotta get a couple more cycles in. And that is game number 1 over Black Burn. So this deck list does play 2 Nile Spellbomb on the board. So we're going to board in Dissenter's Deliverance. You could board in the Gilded Light. I don't know how Cosmic Charles plans for this matchup, so it's tough to say. I do think we probably want to cut the Deadshot Minotaurs for the Deliverance. They're likely the worst cycler in this deck. From there, you have to figure out what the other cut is. I think you can't shave too many creatures or else your deck becomes weak. So I think it's okay to cut a Tinder Wall because it's not a part of your cycling package. I'm going to try this out. You can maybe cut Chromatic Star, but I don't know if that's actually a play you want to make because it is color fixing later. But I mentioned how this deck sometimes fails mid-combo because not everything cycles off Songs of the Damned. For being an 8-land deck, we're opening up with a lot of double-landers. I think we try this. I don't love this hand, but it seems fine enough. And there's the turn 1 Spellbomb. We do have 3 Dissenter's Deliverance in our deck. We can just play this slowly and not have to worry about the Spellbomb. 2 mana. Tyrant's Choice, so we're going to lose 4 life here. We're at 16. And they have 3 cards in hand. Mulligan for the Spellbomb. I'm going to Manamorphose, and I think I might actually play out Stinger here. We'll do green red in case I draw the Deliverance. All right, Stinger's on the table. We'll see who the real burn deck is. Piranha Marsh, still 3 cards in hand. And it looks like they're passing. Draw. Speaking of the devil, let's get in there. No need to just cast the Deliverance now. Our opponent might try to tap out at some point and we can blow up the spell bomb, like right here. So then this way, all they're getting is a Manamorphose. Yeah, oh, I guess they're getting our Deliverance too. Do I want the chip cycle? Sure, let's cycle here. Okay, let's play Land-Grant. Go get the Woodland Chasm and pass. Scorpion, okay. Sure thing. So we're looking for Reaping the Graves right now. That's what we really would like. I wonder if I should save this for Storm. Let's cycle the healer. Alright, so that would be 5 Storm on the combo turn. Alright, I'm just gonna go get a forest now, I guess. Maybe I should have done that pre-cycle. They're using the blood token here. No Alms of the Veins. And now we go to 10 life. Opponent sitting with 2 mana open. Ding! Cabal Ritual. Lotus Petal. I'm going to play the Scob now. 1, it adds Storm, and 2, I need creatures in the graveyard for this song, so I think it's fine. And if they want to tap out here and kill it, I'm okay with that. They're allowing us to exploit. So here we could get Land-Grant and pull the last forest out of the deck, or we can get Manamorphose. They're both fine. What I like about Manamorphose is we could hit another cycling creature off it. Let's cast the Morphos. I think we'll do blue. And then I don't know if the other color matters. Red. Alright, cycle. Okay, so we're going to play songs here. Then I'm going to cycle Barrenmore. I guess maybe I should have done blue-green. That's a mistake on my part. Okay, let's get back the Scob. I also felt like my opponent had removal there and chose not to play it. I could be wrong, though. Stinger, Stinger, Wraith, Healer, Wraith, Horror. And then I don't know if it matters. Okay, we're going to return everything here, because I think I'm going to play a Stinger and start cycling. Alright, cast Stinger. And like I mentioned previously, with the build that I play typically with Blood Celebrant, you can afford to sit back and not cycle, or not play out healer as early. With this build, I don't know if you have that luxury, just because you don't have the color fixing that you do with Blood Celebrant. Cycle. Okay, drawing the Reaping the Graves is obviously good. This Blood Celebrant does represent, did I just say Blood Celebrant? Repository Scob. It does represent a Songs of the Damned in the graveyard, assuming that our opponent doesn't have removal. And here's a piece of removal coming down. Okay. That's actually just fine. Cycle Street Wraith. Cycle Wraith, down to 4. Down to 2. And I think this is one of the downsides of this list, and that's you don't have the hottest play to gain life to turn on your Street Wraiths later. It was a decision made in deck building. Alright, so we're going to sacrifice the Scob here. The hottest play is just so good. Alright, songs. cast songs, and now we're reaping the graves, getting everything back. They're still at 15, and I cannot cycle these street wraiths unless we somehow get a healer into play. We're just going to return everything here. So if we draw the forest, I can play Manamorphose into healer, which then allows me to unlock the street wraith. So that is an option for us. Lotus Petal would also do the same. All right, cycle. Tinder Wall, not quite what we need here, cycle. Cabal Ritual. I'm running out of cyclers here. Cycle the Stinger. Auto yield. Cycle this. Okay. Yeah, I have to cycle a healer. Come on, deck. Alright, so now I have to cycle a healer and that line is going to be shut off. Alright, cycle. We found the Lotus Petal too late. So what am I supposed to do here? So I can Cabal Ritual. And I can Repository Scob back something. I don't know what that something is supposed to be. Well, I do know that I'm going to at least cast Tinder Wall here. Sack it for 2 red. And then we can cast Manamorphose. I'm definitely adding a blue. And then I think the other is supposed to be green. And the 4th street wraith. This is awkward. Okay. Well, the problem here is that if I get back Songs of the Damned, my hand doesn't do anything. If I get back Reaping, it's going to take up all my mana. Or, well, close to all my mana. So we have 9 mana floating. Repository Scob into Reaping the Graves is 7. So I can cycle 2 creatures, but they're at 9. So if I play Tinder Wall, I can actually turn that into 3. But is 3 enough? I think it's going to have to be. Alternatively, I could cycle this Dissenter's Deliverance and look to spike a Ritual or Reaping the Graves, and then that opens up the Scob to potentially win the game. But is that better? Because like technically the 3 mana line gives me 2 draws to win, so I think we're supposed to take the out that gives me 2. All right, let's sack the Tinder Wall. Okay, so now we sacrifice this. Get back Reaping the Graves. 1 song, 2 songs. We have 2 songs left in our deck. Okay. I don't think it matters for these. So we have 2 draws here to hit. Cycle Horror. That's a hit. Okay. Cycle. That is not a hit. Cycle this. Pretty close. Cycle Stinger. That is not a hit. So now we have to draw into songs. There's no Dark Rituals in this deck. So honestly, like this turn's been made more difficult by Tinder Wall being Tinder Wall. So our next draw has to be songs. Cycle. I think we're dead. So technically, if this draws into Lotus Petal, that wouldn't do it. Never mind. We just fizzled. Alright, so I can hit F6 here, and then we just go to discard. Discard Dissenters, some street wraiths. The only way we win this is if our opponent's hand has no burn in it. And that'll do. So we are going to game number 3 now. Tinder Wall was super weird this game. I did not love that. Not one bit. I think I'm just going to resubmit. Game 3, and we're on the play. No cycling creatures. I think I'm actually going to keep this, though. We have a Barrenmoor and a Chromatic Star to potentially make this work. So I'm going to just play the Forest and do Star and pass the turn. On turn 2, my plan is to use Chromatic Star to make a black and cycle the Barrenmoor. Draw. Alright, add a black mana. And I guess I don't need auto yield to that. It is the only one. We can still cycle the Barrenmoor here, I suppose. We're going to need a black mana at some point, so I'm going to play the Barrenmoor. Bump. Alright, they kept a one-lander, which is a little bit odd. So here, there's no need to cycle main phase. It's pretty uncommon, but this deck can play something like Bojuka Bog. They are playing Rakdos Carnarium, and I don't want to lose to Bojuka Bog, so we're just going to hold these Stingers and cycle on their end step. There's lane 2. Alright, a Drain. Cycle Stinger. Cycle Stinger. That gosh darn Tinder Wall. Alright, play Wall. Pass the turn. If need be, we can value Reaping the Graves. And I cannot block the Rogue Captain because it has Menace. So we're going to 10 life here. This Black Burn deck has gotten a lot of nice tools recently. Like, this card is so good. Plus other things too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes the better burn deck eventually. Although I'm not in love with Scorpion. This is really the first time I've seen it in list, but it just seems so underwhelming. Alright, we go to 8. Can I draw into some creatures, please? Cycle. We have 4 cards, so we go to 6. And then 2/1 mana spells would kill me. I think I'm going to risk passing here. I guess this is a matchup where you could have sided in Gilded Light now that I'm thinking about it, because it's a natural counterspell for burn effects, but it would also stop the Nile Spellbomb, which is sort of interesting. Okay, so we're going to move to blocks, block the Scorpion. We're at 6. And they're passing. Okay. Draw. Teachings. We needed creatures. That's so uncomfortable. So it's sack Tinder Wall. And I think that we're supposed to just burn a Songs for 4. Because this gets Cabal Ritual up to threshold, which is just worth it. Cabal Ritual again. We're going to hold this Songs of the Damned. Alright, so this will return everything. We're not going to play out the creatures early this time because we're so far away from that point in the game that it just doesn't make sense. So this puts us to 4. Cycle Stinger. Cabal Ritual. Cycle this Barrenmoor. Okay. Going a little bit better now. So there's a blue mana for Repository Scob. I'm afraid it might not live, though, is the issue. They did show us that they sided in Ultimate Price or whatever it's called. Cast Down? That's what it is. Okay, I think I'm going to risk casting the Scob here. You have the removal? They do. Okay. So Cast Down happens. And I think I want to leave the green mana open for Tinder Wall. Okay, return everything here. So the question becomes, do we try to play out our Stingers now? I don't think I'm actually supposed to play the wall yet. Because I might end up needing to cycle off the Deliverance. So let's go to 2 and cycle this Street Wraith. Alright, Manamorphose is very good because now I can Repository Scob back something later. That said, I will need a little bit more mana first. So let's play the Tinder Wall and immediately sacrifice it. And then we can Manamorphose. Let's make blue because we have Teachings and Scob. I cannot cycle that. Oh no, I was supposed to... That's a play mistake on my part. I could have played Healer there. I don't know if that's actually right though. I feel like it probably is. I'd probably just punted that. Okay, cycle. Cycle. Have I played a land yet? So I'd have to cycle this in order to cast the land grant for free. Alright, let's cycle. Cast land grant. Okay, so how much does songs make? 4? So it's actually a loss of mana. Maybe I wasn't supposed to play the Stingers. Down to 4 minutes. Alright, let's cycle off the red. Another Dissenters. Let's cycle one of them. Worst case scenario there. Alright, cycle. So I can cast the Manamorphose now, but now I don't have the healer. Green-blue. So this is awkward because I can't actually cycle the Dissenters and the Tinder Wall. And if I play Tinder Wall, I go up to 4 mana, but I can't Teachings for Songs. It doesn't work that way. And I have 3 minutes. I think I just have to try to spike songs off the Dissenter cycle. Okay. Cycle. We fizzled. Alright, I might as well end it the proper way. Cycle Street Wraith. Not a great way to start this. You could have argued that I was supposed to play Healer or not play the Stingers. I'm not sure. It's just like this build is so color constrained mid-combo. Maybe I'm just not playing it correctly. You're welcome to give me feedback in the comment section down below, but it felt really difficult to always judge what color mana you're supposed to be using because there's so many moving elements, if that makes sense. But feel free to let me know if you think otherwise. But that was match number 1. Match number 2 will be coming up in just a moment. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Match number 2, a chance at redemption. We're going to keep this hand, but honestly, I don't like it, and I think this hand it sort of emphasizes my concerns with this build. So here we have a cycler that cycles off red-green, which doesn't work with Baron Moore. We do have the Drannith Healer, which works, but we could, in theory, cycle using these Lotus Petals, but it's not really what you want to do. I would actually compare this style of opening hand to opening up like an Ash Barrens in the other build. Not that my build is perfect, because it's certainly not, but there is this awkward tension with this list that I feel. Alright, another Manamorphose. Pass the turn. And they're on Mono-Blue based on their mana base. Draw. Cycle Healer. We're gonna awkwardly cast Land Grant and hope that it resolves. Yikes. All right, and let's just play Petal and Pass. This way, if I'm forced to play something next turn, it doesn't get eaten by Spell Stutter. All right, they're on blue-black. Preordain. Draw. Awkward. Okay, so we're going to cast Manamorphose here. We'll do green, green. Whoops, I meant to do green, green. It didn't work that way. Okay, let's try green, green again. So we'll cycle this Deadshot Minotaur. And then I think we're supposed to play the Tinder Wall. Because if we don't play Tinder Wall now, we won't have access to it later. And another Preordain. We have 2 cycling creatures in our graveyard. Not a whole lot. And a Brainstorm. Black mana, what is this? A Gurmag? It is a Gurmag! Our opponent is just being hyper aggro. Alright, cycle this Vantasaur. Cycle Stinger. Might as well cycle this Wraith, why not? Looks like they gave us a window to win this game. We're going to try to take it on our turn. Draw. Reveal our hand to Land Grant. Go get a forest, play it. And we want to start off on songs here in order to keep the green mana open. You could play Cabal Ritual first, but it's not like we have other creatures to cycle anyway. And with how awkward it can be with this list to manage your colors, I think that this is just better anyway. Okay. Add a blue. Teachings. So we will have 11 mana floating post Reaping the Graves. Tinder Wall is last because it doesn't cycle. Also, Deadshot Minotaur being a little bit awkward here. Because once again, it doesn't cycle off black mana. I think we should cycle. Alright, down to 13. And another Tinder Wall. Cycle. We do have teachings for another songs in our back pocket. Cycle this. So Vantasaur. These are okay. I'm trying to figure out how much mana I'm actually allowed to spend here on cycling. Because if I cycle one more time, I lose the ability to teachings for songs. But honestly, that might not matter. Because I can't get songs and then not have access to Reaping the Graves either. So I think maybe I'm supposed to just return everything and then try to cycle. So that way I can draw one of them and then make a decision after that. Cycle the Minotaur. Okay, Cabal Ritual is fine. Cycle. Cycle this. Cycle the Horror. Cycle Healer. Yikes. Let's cast Manamorphose. We're probably going to do green-blue. Cast Cabal Ritual. Cast Tinder Wall. So we have 6 right now to flashback teachings, but I would need this Chromatic Star to draw into something good. I guess we had green. Draw. And we fizzled. Damn. That's a bummer. So I think we just flashback teachings for songs and pass the turn. Yikes. I don't know if I did something. I don't feel like I did anything wrong there. I mean, it's entirely possible that I'm incorrect and I somehow botched that, but it didn't feel like it. Just not sure. Oh, I'm not going to get to live. I guess I could probably live another turn. I have to block the Gurmag and hope that they don't have removal. Yep, and I'm punished by my decision. Cycle. Cast songs. This would have happened on our turn. Alright, you got me. That did not feel good. So here I think we want the Pyroblasts. They do have like 2 Spell Bomb in their list. I don't know, like if you're not playing, what is it called? Crab, I think maybe you have to board in Deliverance. I'm not sure. But I am pretty confident saying I want to get these Tinder Walls out of my... I'm not impressed with this card at all so far. Get rid of these Minotaurs and try this. I guess the problem here is I want to bring in Pyroblast, but then I'm trying to cut Tinder Wall. So maybe you board out like Cabal Ritual? It feels so wrong. Alternatively, I could try to cut the 2 blue cards, and then Manamorphose becomes less important. Bring these back in. I don't know. I just don't know. Don't think we're allowed to keep that. This is awkward, but I think we're forced to keep it. Bottom the Tinder Wall. Alright, Barrymore past the turn. Draw. Cycle Healer. Pass. Cycling Ash Barrens for an island, okay. That doesn't feel good. Okay. Draw. We do have this Dissenters, but we're not in a good spot. Fairy Seer. Draw. Okay. So we can, in theory, blow up the relic if they tap low or tap out. Like, I guess I could have played the Dissenters there and hoped that they didn't have a Spell Pierce or something else. And they're just passing. Draw. And I'm going to do the same. Cycling Ash Barrens. And I think they're just trying to protect Relic at this point, but I could be wrong. 18. Let's take a draw step. Okay, I think I'm just gonna cycle. Trying to hit a land, I guess. We did not hit a land. Let's draw off the star. Exile the star. Draw. Awkward. Let's try to hit a land again. One thing to point out is land grant is super awkward versus these blue decks. Yeah, now we have to discard 2. Alright, remove the Pyroblast. Draw. A little late on you, Tinder Wall. Yep. I feel like I'm just getting destroyed. Remove the Tinder. They still have 6 cards in hand too. Alright, I'm gonna cycle the Stinger here. Okay, draw. Songs of the Damned. I guess I lost this game on turn 2 when I just didn't snap Dissenters into their open blue mana. Like, if they had a Dispel or like a Spell Pierce, I was just out of it, but they never tapped low for the rest of the game. Like, these decks do play 2 Dispel on the board. Sometimes they have Spell Pierce, not always, but I guess I was supposed to just disrespect them. I don't know. Pass. They're at 5 cards in hand. Draw. Let's try songs again. Okay, pass the turn. Songs have been removed. We have 1 songs left in our deck. Snuff out to hand. Draw. What am I doing? I don't know. Let's just try blowing up the relic. I'm just gonna pass. I don't need to show them my hand this turn. We're at 2. Like, I think this game was ultimately decided on the turn 2 when I decided to not play Dissenters. Like, maybe I gave them too much credit and having 1 mana interaction, and I shouldn't have. They have the other relic. Okay. So we're 0-2. Playing your favorite combo deck in Pauper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, 8th Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Pauper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. Match 3 on the play against Vintage Legend discoverN, who usually plays Doomsday there. I don't know what they would play in Pauper, but this should be fun. If it's Vintage Doomsday, I am not in luck. We'll say that for sure. This hand seems fine enough. Woodland Chasm and pass the turn. They probably heard that the best deck in this format is blue-black and then came over here. Let's cycle Horror, I suppose, because if I draw a Forest, all the other creatures cycle off that. And I was not so lucky. Surprise, surprise. Okay. Maybe Familiars? They didn't strike me as a FAMS player, but here we are. It's looking more like Familiars. Let's cycle this Deadshot Minotaur, I suppose. I think I'm going to discard the Scob. It just doesn't do anything. There it is. They are, in fact, on Blue-White Familiars. Draw. So we have a Reaping, but right now we're stuck cycling 1 creature a turn, and it's not going super well. They're going to cycle Ash Barrens. Okay. Seagate Oracle. 2 blue. They flashback Deep Analysis with 1 mana open. Okay, so it looks like they're holding open like Prohibit or something here. Hey, a second land. Crazy. Cycle the Horror. Okay. Land Grant's a little bit late here and kind of awkward because we have this land, the Baron Moore in hand. Okay, Oracle and a Preordain. Come on, tap out. What's the worst that could happen? Snap. Yep. Now they have 3 mana. Oracle again. Ouch. We're going to take 1. Draw. I think we just play this and cycle some. So how they're holding open Prohibit here. And I don't think that we should be playing into that. So instead, I think we want to try to double spell in one turn. And, you know, we might be able to with what we have going on. All right, so we're taking 2 down to 17. Another Seagate Oracle, 3 mana open. Muldrifter. And they allowed it to go to the graveyard. Cycling Ash Barrens, okay. Draw. Tinder Wall. Okay, sacrifice that and we'll play Cabal Ritual to start. That resolved, okay. How about this? Cabal Ritual. Let's cast a Manamorphose. We'll do blue-green. Cycle this. Okay, obviously Songs was a good one. Cycle. I have to imagine if they have a prohibit, this is a very juicy target. Okay, so they have 3 mana open now. So now they could counterspell plus like Ephemerate. Or have double prohibit. It's a little awkward. Let's land grant. Not quite the... Ooh, they're just going to concede to double reaping. That's kind of surprising because, okay, so this would be 1 mana, 7 mana, 10 mana. So I guess the line here would be to go reaping, getting back only Scob into Songs, and then use this. Otherwise, I guess, I don't know. But they conceded. I think they should have made me play that out. Okay, so here I think we just side in Pyros and we don't worry about Grave Hate. I could be wrong. Take out these dead shots. And like maybe the star. Let's try this out. Sure. I do think that maybe this deck, I don't know. It just seems weird that you can't actually cast Pyroblast without sacrificing something. Like, would one of the red-green duels really be that bad? Let's cast Land Grant. Get the duel, play it. And then I'm just going to cast this other Land Grant here to ensure that we hit our second land on turn 2. Cycles Ash Barrens. Island. Preordain. They put 2 on the bottom. I think I'm just going to pass. I could play out Tinder Wall, but I think I just want to get cycling. Seagate Oracle, okay. I think I'm actually going to cast Manamorphose here. Whoops, apparently I very quickly added black. I didn't realize it. Okay. Double Barrenmore, a little bit weird. Let's cast this Manamorphose, and I'm going to add black and cycle these Moors. I don't really want them. Cycle. I guess we can cycle this. Cycle Street Wraith. Are we going for it? I mean, it doesn't seem like the worst idea. Let's play and sacrifice Tinder Wall. Opponent's tapped out. Songs, and then cycle Barrenmore. See if we can hit a few more creatures. Take a Cabal Ritual, that's for sure. Alright, and I'm going to hold on to this Songs for now. Try to eke out a little more mana out of it. Street Wraith and then the other creatures. Cycle. Okay, let's cast this. We'll do green-blue. Cycle Healer. Morphos. Green-red. Cycle off the black, I guess. Okay. Cycle. So that gets us another Reaping the Graves. Pretty good. Cycle. Or we could just draw it. Okay. Cycle. Cycle. I think I'm just going to cast this. Cycle. And again. Alright, we're running hot here. Alright, so the last card coming back is Tinder Wall. Play Tinder Wall and sacrifice it. Songs. I think I'm going to go get another songs and then we can start to win the game. This is actually the last songs. It's from 15. Okay. And everyone's coming home. We only have one stinger, but it should be fine. We have a backup teachings in the graveyard as well, but no more Songs of the Damned. Play stinger. Cycle down to 14 life. Can we do it? I think so. Okay. There's a Reaping the Graves, that's good. Just some more mana would be nice at this point. Or another stinger. Alright, keep it cycling. Add two more. I don't know. I didn't need to do that, but I wanted to. Can't stop me. A cycle. And again. Cycle the Vantasaur. And another Vantasaur. So we have to cast another Reaping here. Just click. Okay, so we are going to win match number 3 against Vintage Legend discoverN with the land grant build of Cycle Storm. Alright, Street Wraith, our best cycler. Again. Cabalret, why not? And cycle this Horror of the Broken Lands. So that's going to do it. We're now 1-2 with 2 rounds left to go. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Match 4 on the draw. We're going to try this. Island. Fairies again, okay. Draw, Barrenmore, pass. Ouch. Okay, so they're mono-blue. Draw. Just gonna be lazy in main phase cycle here. Okay, pass the turn. Going to 16. Bind the monster down. Alright, so they're holding open counter magic. We're just gonna keep cycling and doing our thing. Let's cycle the dead shot here. Cycle the healer, and I think we're probably gonna end up playing out this Barrenmore. Yeah. Okay. Spell Stutter. They are the aggro deck. Ouch. We go to 13. Spiral Golem, okay. Cycle. 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 So this build plays 4 Spike, so I don't really want to jam into it. I did think about playing Lotus Petal to see if they would counter it, but I feel like that's a mistake. Discards Fairies here. Okay. Keeping 3 mana open. Let's try Cabal Ritual. Okay. How about another Cabal Ritual? I have been pierced. Ooh, I could have I messed up there. It's my own fault. I just lost out on some mana. I lost out on 1 mana, actually. I guess that's not true. Because I paid half of it, so I would have gained 3. Yeah, whatever. I messed up multiple ways. I'm a screw up. Alright, let's Reaping the Graves. Yeah, I definitely punted that a little bit. So I've been messing up a lot recently here on this channel, and I don't know if you watched the Reanimator video I uploaded, but it's terrible, the number of mistakes I made in that. But I feel like, honestly, it's because I've been a little bit burned out and not getting enough sleep recently, trying to make all the content. Just feeling a little run thin. Plus, it's always not easy narrating your plays while you play them. Okay. Can't cycle that. Cycle the healer. Cycle Stinger. Okay. So I could Songs here. It would make 9, so it'd only be plus 2 mana. I don't think that's actually worth it. Let's cycle. Alright, let's see if we can hit something. Cycle this. Come on, deck. There we go. Cycle. And again. Okay, we'll just let both of these happen. Oops, I cancel that. And here we're seeing the effect of this deck, Tinder Wall not being Dark Ritual. It's just a little awkward. Like, we're fortunate here to draw the Chromatic Star, but you shouldn't have to get lucky to cast your rituals, in my opinion. That was a good draw. Alright, sacrifice this. We'll cast Manamorphose. Add blue, green. Tinder Wall. Sacrifice it. Cycle the Minotaur. Let's cast this Morphos. Green, black. So, I guess I can cast this for free. Show them that I've got it all. Alright, cycle. Songs. Manamorphose. Red. Cycle. Songs. And Reaping. We're going to return everything here. So I got a little bit lucky in one after my poor play. Thankfully, it didn't bite me in the butt. Okay. Bringing it all back. I got lazy and started just like randomly clicking at the end. We have more than enough here, though. Apparently I missed a Stinger and a Healer. And a Street Wraith. Okay. But we still have plenty of fuel here. That was more of an all these. If this game was tighter, I wouldn't have done that. Cycle. Like, that play just didn't matter. Just laziness on my part, though. And they conceded. Alright, so now we have to get a post-board game. Fire Blast. Get rid of this. Get rid of the Minotaurs. Okay, let's try this out. Seems like a pretty reasonable hand. I like this. Keep. Very Miscreant. Barrymore past the turn. And another Miscreant, so they get to draw a card. We'll take 1 going to 19. Draw. Play this and pass. So you'll notice that we saw Spell Pierce. The mono-blue versions definitely play more soft counters than any other variant of fairies. Sometimes you'll see a Spell Pierce in Dimir or Izzet, but it's not nearly as common. Where in mono-blue you can almost expect Spell Pierce plus Force Spike. Ooh, they're disrespecting us and tapping out. Let's see if we can punish them. I think I'm gonna save the Manamorphose though. We might want it next turn for Storm. Cycle the Street Wraith. Cycle the Vantasaur. Cycle Healer. Okay, I think we're going for it. Draw. Petal. Petal. So that's with the 2 petals, that's 6 cards to the graveyard. So let's cycle this Stinger. And then that can be the 7th card. A lot of green here. Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Manamorphose Flag. Blue-green. Cycle this Vantasaur. Lotus Petal. Let's cycle the Barrymore. Maybe we get lucky and we spike. Okay, keep it going. Running out of mana here. That wasn't good. Okay, so I think I'm going to... I'm going to eat the blue mana. And actually the green mana too. Wraith, Wraith, and then the others. Need to get kind of lucky. We did not draw a whole lot of mana there. Let's cycle this. Manamorphose. Black, green. There we go. Cycle. Woot, woot. That was a good one. Okay. Triple Pyroblast, not ideal. Alright, keep it cycling. We do need to hit more mana. Alright. Cabal Ritual's good. Cycle. Alright, that was a lucky draw as well. Okay. Whoops, cancel. Play the land. Alright, and now... At this point, we're just looking for a Tinder Wall to play these Stingers so we can start winning. We're just going to return everyone here. Okay, so let's cycle a Street Wraith going down to 6 life, and there's Tinder Wall. Perfect timing. Sacrifice it. Stinger. I feel like Tinder Wall should make Snow mana. Down to 4. Like, they reprinted it in Cold Snap. I don't know. I guess it's not a, like, it doesn't require Snow mana to cast it. I don't know. I guess that's like poor rationale. I'm just trying to, like, my memory of it, it was being reprinted in Cold Snap, therefore it should make Snow mana, but that's just not the case. Okay, keep cycling. Another Stinger, but we don't have red mana. And another. We have it from here with the Reaping in hand. I just have to manually click a whole bunch. Okay, let's cycle this, going down to 2 life. Cycle the Stinger. And that will do. Alright, we've clawed our way back to 2-2. Let's see if we can win the last match and finish with a positive record. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Match 5, we're on the play. Let's finish this with a positive record. I'd really enjoy that. This hand seems like a keep to me. We have Land Grant to go get either duel, either land. So I think I'd actually get the Woodland Chasm and just play a turn behind, so that way we can guarantee cycle both of our creatures. Okay, so we're going to cast Land Grant here and go get that dual land. Play it and pass. Alright, so they played a Mountain and passed the turn, so probably Burnified, I guess. Draw. We're going to cycle the Horror of the Broken Lands here because we have 3 forests in our deck that we could draw into to cycle this Deadshot Minotaur, where if we cycle Minotaur, there's no black source for me to draw into to cycle. So I'm going to play the Barrymore, which might seem a little bit weird because we're stuck on 1 cycler. And I completely get that. But if we're going to win this game, I need to be able to cast, or, well, cycle multiple spells in one turn. So you kind of just have to assume that at some point you're going to hit your average draw. All right, we'll play the Star and pass. Seeker of the Way. Ichor Wellspring, so now Seeker is going to be a 3/3 lifelink. Glinthawk, okay, they can pick up the Ichor Wellspring. Picked up an Ancient Den, that's interesting. Okay. 17, draw. Let's cycle this Stinger. Land Grant. Let's just go thin. And I'm just going to do this now. Draw. Alright, go to 15, cycle. Tinder Wall. Pass the turn. I guess I shouldn't have 6. They do play Journey to Nowhere, so I'd prefer to sacrifice this if they try to journey it. Kadaltha Rebirth. You got it. Okay. I've noticed recently these lists have started playing Rally because of the Kadaltha Rebirth. So it's like, these are essentially faster Squadron Hawks, and then I like it because their deck has more burn in it anyway. So you really are playing a more aggressive game plan. So for example, our opponent's representing lethal on the following turn, so we have to go for it. Skyfisher, okay. And they picked up an Ancient Den. Draw. Sacrifice the Tinder Wall. We'll cycle the Horror here. Land Grant. Pull another land out of our deck. Okay. Tap this for black. Songs. We're going to hold this other songs, though, because we want to make it make more mana later. And we're already able to return all of our creatures. So we're going to target Tinder Wall first, because that way it's the last spell that would be returned. Alright, Street Wraith and then the other creatures. Go down to 8. We're going to hold on to that for now. Cycle. Cycle. And these sort of situations are also where Tinder Wall is a little bit worse than Dark Ritual, because I can't cast this and sacrifice it with songs on the stack. Where with this sort of play pattern, you really want to be rewarded by having more instant speed spells. It was something I found when I was testing out Rite of Flame. Let's cast the Cabal Ritual, I guess. And that's returning Tinder Wall. So we could cycle Stinger here. No need to play the songs because we're not sure if we're actually going to draw an interaction or not. Cycle. Okay. Almost halfway through our deck. There we go. Boom. And another. Tinder Wall. Tinder Wall. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Songs of the Damned. And let's go. This time we're just going to return everything and then start cycling to try to win. Alright, 10 floating mana. We're going to use 4 of it to play Stingers. Alright, Stinger. Stinger. And let's start cycling. We're at 26, so we'll need 13 cyclers. Another Tinder Wall. I'm gonna play out some Tinder Walls here. Why not? Keep one of those open though. Let's add some red mana here. We can always Reaping the Graves again, by the way, to get back some cycling creatures. Alright, so this brings us down to 6. This Street Wraith would bring us down to 4. Cycle. Cycle the Horror. Alright, 1 black left, but we drew Cabal Ritual. Cycle. And again. They're down to 10 life. Cycle the Imposing Vantasaur. Still 6 mana floating. We'll go down to 2 life. Hello, Songs. Manamorphose. I'm lagging here, or are they conceding? Alright, I'm lagging. Green, green. Tinder Wall. Sacrifice it. Anamorphose. Green, green. Cycle. Cycle. And we have enough cyclers in hand now. Come on. Cycle it. Select. Oh, it's because my bad. Reading is very difficult. If you didn't know that, you cannot cycle something that costs red or green off of black mana. That was my own fault, but here we are. We won game number 1. Just so used to all of my creatures always cycling off black mana. Alright, so now we want to bring in Dissenter's Deliverance to beat their graveyard hate, and I think we just do the same thing we've been doing all league, boarding out the 2 Deadshot Minotaurs and the Chrome Star. Alright, 1-1 away from a positive record. Okay, this seems like a pretty good hand to me. We're going to keep this. Woot woot. Come on, one more game. That's all we need. Campus, draw. Barrenmore, pass. Synthesizer, okay. Wow. Alright, aggressive opening. Let's cycle the horror here. Play the land and pass. Teachings was a fine draw because it does represent a Reaping the Graves. I'm just worried about them clocking us pretty fast. Like if they have land, untapped land into rally here, that brings down half our life total, and then they're representing lethal on the following turn. But it's just an Ichor Wellspring. If it's another Cut-Off the Rebirth, then what is it called? Rally would represent lethal. So we take 3 down to 17, draw. Let's just cycle some creatures. Alright, cycle the healer. Healer. Forest is a good draw. Cycle the Vantasaur. And then next turn we're going to try to win. I didn't want to show them the, like, even if I didn't hit the forest, I was planning on not cycling Street Wraith because I don't want to tell them that I'm willing to go to 1 life after the rally, because if they rally, I take 12. And then that would put me to 1, which gets a little dicey. So there's no reason to show them that you have double Street Wraith. I would have just like discarded or whatever. Played out a Petal, I guess. 2 mana available here. A Cut-Off the Rebirth. So they do have 5 cards in hand. So it could be a Pyroblast or a Bolt, who knows. The Raven Inspector is apparently the answer. So we get to go to Party Town here. Draw. Cycle. Cycle. Let's cast Land Grant. Go grab a forest. Play the forest. Tinder Wall. Sacrifice the wall. Cycle the horror. Hello, Songs of the Damned. Welcome to the party. Let's cast this, I guess. We'll do green, blue. Cast 1 Songs, cycle Barrenmore. Another Morphos. Okay, we'll do green, green here. Cycle the Stinger. Petal. Manamorphose. Green, green again. Tinder Wall. Sacrifice it. Songs of the Damned. And now we Teachings for Reaping the Graves, and I think we could maybe even just start to win off this initial Reaping, but let's find out. Okay. We're just going to return everything here. We have 12 floating mana. We have a Stinger. They're at 20, but we have a couple copies of Street Wraith. Okay, let's play out the Tinder Walls. Sack these immediately. Why not? Cast a Stinger. I think we just try to go for it. Like, the 1 cycle doesn't matter as much when we have a Mystical Teachings in the graveyard. And this should do. Alright, so we're going to finish this with a 3-2 record by the looks of it. Hello, Stinger. Welcome to the party. Cabal Ritual. cycle. Okay. They're at 12. Just have to get a few more cycles in here. Gotta do that cardio. I'm technically supposed to land grant here to pull a land out. Plus they get to see how dead they are. I guess that's the real reason to run land grant, is to be like, see all these? Not that it's relevant. Okay, another Cabal Ritual. And Reaping the Graves. And that's an opponent concession. So we finished with a 3-2 record. I don't dislike that. My thoughts. I don't like Tinder Wall. I understand that you can replace Dark Ritual with it and then keep your creature count high. It was awkward several times this league. It's not an instant, which matters when you're cycling with Reaping the Graves on the stack. It forces you to be awkward with your colors because you need to always keep green mana floating, which converts into red, and you can't chain Tinder Walls, which is really weird. Deadshot Minotaur was awkward with Songs of the Damned. I don't know, maybe I didn't play this list optimally, but it felt a little bit worse than just the more consistent 5-color list that I normally play. Gilded Light never came up, but I could have sided it in game number 1. Or, I'm sorry, match number 1 versus the Black Burn deck, but I didn't. Maybe I should have. Overall, it's still a reasonable choice in my opinion. I don't think this list is bad. And I truly mean that. It's just, you have to be very good at balancing your mana, where when you play a traditional list like this one, you don't have to do that, or even this one, because of the power of Blood Celebrant. So I'm not sure. Like, I play all different sorts of Cycle Storm lists just to figure out what's best, and things that I like. Like right now I'm a little bit lower on Exhume, but a month ago I thought Exhume might have broken the deck in half, so you never really know. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions, as always, put those down below, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I sincerely hope that you have a great day. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.